What's up?
Okay, but here's we go. Sales meeting number 29. One away from 30. 29. So this one I titled How to Exit a Dead Deal.
Oh.
So it's not the most fun topic to talk about, but if we think big picture, it's an important thing that we need to consider to set ourselves up for future success. So like we always say, we never want to give up on anybody, but when you're in a conversation with a client or a prospect and you know that the deal is going sour or not headed in the direction you want, which I think you've already experienced that a couple times. And it's important to get out of the call or out of the sales pitch or the call with a positive attitude. So we need to keep the line in the water. Thinking of fishing, you got lines in the water, right? So we need to keep the line in the water. We can always save it for another time or for next month. We're still going to follow up until someone dies, but we need to keep that line open for when we do follow up. So we don't want to cut the line off by getting angry, getting bitter, getting disrespectful or anything like that, which is, before I learned any of that, I might get kind of mad at people. You know, if I put in a lot of work on a quote or I did a lot of back and forth and then they said no at the end, it can be frustrating. And I think there's maybe been a couple times when I was a new guy that I maybe replied with a comment like, well, I know that we're better than the other way that you went, so hopefully it works out for you. Something like that, where it's just not the most professional goodbye or the send off that keeps an opportunity. So
you gotta live and learn.
And I've done that a couple times. If we went through the email, I'm sure I could find them. But when we have that big pipeline, we have more opportunities, but we always want to keep that flow open with every opportunity that we have. So if we have a difficult client or a prospect, we need to realize that most sales aren't done on the first call. So we're going to have to make those 10 to 20 touches before we can close a deal. And the stat is that only 2% of sales are closed on the first call. So that's pretty rare to get a one-time call and a one-time sale. So you always got to do that follow-up. You just have to expect it. But we keep the pipeline flowing. We don't get down on ourselves. And if someone doesn't go our way or they're not feeling it, we just move on to that next quote, next prospect, or our next follow-up. So I think you can kind of tell, like even in your emails with Elizabeth and Miriam, that you can kind of feel when it changes from, oh, there's something here, to like, oh, well, it's not, it's kind of feeling a little bit down or a little negative, right? You can just feel it. Mm-hmm. You can sense or you can tell when they're starting to kind of get irritated with you, and where this is where you have to get them to a not right now instead of where I'm never going to do business with you ever, now or in the future. So we got to try and keep it positive even when it's not going to work out. So I had one client and I thought I had closed a big deal with. They wanted cards for like 25 people. And I went really skinny on the price and I was really aggressive, and the lady was like, yeah, we're interested and we're gonna do it. And then she just completely disappeared and fell off the face of the earth. And I pestered her and I bothered her with my follow-ups. It wasn't Bafu, it was just like I was thinking only about follow-up till someone dies and nothing else. So I kept sending the same message like 3-4 times a week. Like all I just said was, are you still considering this? Just wanted to check in, let me know if we're gonna do this deal, blah, blah, blah. And I said the same thing over and over and over, and it probably went on for like 2 months. And eventually I got an email back, and they basically said, leave me alone, this deal is not happening, don't contact us anymore. But I did it so many times that she probably got so sick of seeing the email, she was just like, get out of here, and I don't want to see you anymore, don't talk to me, the quote's not happening, leave them alone. So I think it's not bad if we do it the right way, but I kind of use the jackhammer approach instead of the creative approach.
You gotta be smooth, you gotta be suave, sir.
I broke the fishing line for good. It's dead in the water and it floated to the bottom. And I made a fool of myself by just being a bad salesman. I was just hammering and I didn't think anything creative. So we don't want to give up, but we need to listen to the client. So if they're not ready to do business right now, we have to say, I understand. Or if they don't have the money this month, hey, I'm with you. You don't have the money right now. But how about we get you started with a free design? Just something like that to keep the line open, right? So when you do have the money and you're ready to move, you've got that free design, we can do it really quick for you. So if we keep that line open, we have to think big picture and be in it for the long play. So if it costs us $50 to make a graphic design now, and then in 3 months they come back and order $1,500 worth of product, then it was a pretty good investment, right? Even though it didn't happen right now. So if we don't get them today, we're going to get them tomorrow. So we can think when things are going bad, when things are going south, you know, I think I like the idea of offering a free design if it's someone new that we haven't worked with before. They don't already have a design, because we haven't got to that point in the conversation when you say, hey, let's get you started with a free design, get you set for next time. It's free. And say, no, I don't think so. I don't even want to do that right now. You say, no problem. Thank you so much for your time. Something upbeat, happy, positive. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for considering us. Never like go cold and don't answer them back. You always want to leave positive. So if they say no, don't just ignore them and be like, whatever. Or don't say you'll regret your decision or whatever. Because you can feel that way sometimes. But we throw them back in that pipeline, and then we keep sending them useful stuff, sending out those videos, and keep that line open for later on. So always have a backup offer in your pocket for when things are going bad. And even if they don't accept it, right, it just keeps that line open, adds a little strength for next time. Just listen, acknowledge, and try again down the road. So it's going to happen all the time. Deals are going to go south, but we got a big pipeline. So we're going to be cool, courteous, offer them something as for free, keep that contact open, and try again later. So that's how we exit the deal when it starts to go dead.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. So today I feel like my deal's a little bit dead, but I haven't tried everything yet. So I'm gonna try value-added follow-up text message.
We're gonna revive this guy.
We're gonna revive him. So I'll get you to film over my shoulder, and we'll send this text message.
That's what we're gonna do.
And we'll see if we get a response. I don't really think we will, but you never know.
You're already thinking negative. That's
right.
That's the
terrible.
bad part.
But I'm just gonna keep going and going.
Confucius said, "Those who think they can, and those who think they can, are both usually correct."
Are both usually right. I think that was our quote of the day 2 weeks ago. All right, so I'm gonna cut this one off. We're gonna flip the video around. Okay, Dirty Kitchen. Our sales meeting today was how to exit a deal when it goes dead, but I don't think we're quite at that point yet. I've got a big deal on the line here, like a big one in comparison to our normal deals, and had a couple meetings in person, did some measurements in person with the gentleman, and it went cold. I mean, we had the deal. He said yes. He said we're going to make it happen and it's going to go done. And so after we got the quotes out to him, he agreed to them. The deal hasn't, it's been about a month now, I think, and just nothing's happening. So I've reached out 3 voicemails, probably 6 or 7 emails, all trying to do value added. So coming up with something creative to say. And no responses, no callbacks, nothing. So we're gonna try what worked for Marcus. We're gonna do a text message follow-up. And the stats say that 98% of text messages are at least read and opened. So that means he should see it, and we'll see if we can get a response. So my method here is I'm gonna let him know that we actually left him a voicemail last week, and Marcus did a tag for me. He said that I was out of town, and he was just filling in, doing a follow-up touch, and there was still no response from that, so I'm gonna let him know that I'm back in town. I apologize I haven't been in communication with him the last week, but I just wanted to follow up with him and let him know that we have some openings with our install team, so this is something that we could really get done immediately here. So I'm gonna try and assume the close, assume the sale, and add a little bit of urgency, as well as do a little creative follow-up through a text message with some different methods, which I've never tried with this person in particular. So I'm gonna use my iPad here, and we'll see if we can get it on, see what we're gonna say. So I've got his number, we'll keep it private.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me know whenever you already got the
And I got his card just from being in the in-person meeting with him.
Always get their card.
Always get their card. And when you call, we called them 3 times, always leave a message, because if you don't leave a message, they don't know you called and it doesn't count. So
there you go.
Think about that. Okay, so
great tip.
Let me get some tape right there. Can you just give me a little piece? We don't want to step on anybody's toes, so we got to keep this private. Cover that name up.
At least, cause is there like some his information on there too?
We don't know who that guy is. That's just a card you got at the thrift store.
Okay.
Okay. And it's upside down. All right, so we're gonna say something like this. I can say his first name. So we're gonna say Andrew. I apologize that I haven't been in contact with you last week. I am back in the office and have some good news. Keeping it positive. I'm just making this up as we go, but that's what you gotta do. You gotta be creative.
Improv.
Have some good news. Now this guy's not too emotional, so I'm not gonna use any emojis or anything like that because I don't think it's his style. We have several. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to wrap or install at a building a bunch of building wraps. So we have several openings over the next 2 weeks. So I'm trying to add some urgency here, saying that we can do it really quick. 2 weeks, I'm assuming that he's already gonna do it. We would love to be able to schedule the. Now I think if you do that, it'll just be hard to read, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll love to be able to schedule the elevator installs at this time. I think we can complete this project in 2 to 3 business days. And weekend, he wanted to know that we could install on the weekend, so I'm going to reiterate that. Installation is still available. So now I'm going to ask for a response so he doesn't just read that and not answer back. Please let me know if this is something we can get on the books. Thank you. I don't know if he has my number, so I'm gonna say my name, just like an email. Taylor at Alpha Graphics. Okay, so Andrew, I apologize that I haven't been in contact with you the last week. I am back in the office and have some good news. We have several openings over the next 2 weeks. We would love to be able to schedule the elevator installs at this time. I think we can complete this project in 2 to 3 business days, and weekend installation is still available. Please let me know if this is something we can get on the books. Thank you, Taylor at Alpha Graphics. So I'm going to send that, and we'll check in later when we get a response and a yes. Thanks for watching. All right, so we just got an interesting phone call. Picking up from where we left off this morning, we had a cold lead, or so I thought. I had followed up this guy, I forget how many times now, probably 10 plus, email, phone call, voicemail, Marcus did a tag follow-up, nothing. But we thought, well, let's try the text message this morning, that 98% open rate. And lo and behold, what time is it?
It is 2:45.
2:45. We sent the text message at about 8:45.
A little later.
Maybe 9 something. And what do you know? We get a call from the graphics team that's working with us on this job, and they said they're sending over the files for creation. So I think we might have to say that the text message may have got this job back on track. So that's just a little tip. If you're getting into dead ends with the phone calls, with the emails, see if you can't get that cell phone number and send a text, because it's worked for myself, and give them, since we're talking about it, tell them about your Noble text as well.
All right. Yes. So I had a client that, again, he wasn't responding to my my text. I mean my emails or my phone calls. So we decided to actually get a proof of one of the jobs we were doing for him, and I sent it to him. I sent it through text message, and he didn't respond back to it, but when I called him and he answered his phone, I asked him if he had in fact opened up the text message. He said he's seen it and that he wanted to order the signs,
Awesome.
the vehicle magnets.
So those texts so far have been working for us. So keep that in your as a tool in your pocket, in your work belt, and start throwing in some text message follow-ups. Thanks for watching The Dirty Kitchen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Dirty Kitchen. It's a great Monday. I think it's Columbus Day, but that doesn't mean we're taking the day off like some of the other people out there. We're just in here cooking up ingredients to success. So we've got a good quote of the day for you here today, and it says that I am not the richest, smartest, or most talented person in the world, but I succeed because I keep going and going and going. And that was said by Sylvester Stallone. So basically, this one's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, common sense, but a lot of times things don't work out in life and things can get really hard, and that's just the seasons of life. Things can be going good and then they're going to get hard and you're going to fail, but the thing is, if you keep going and going and going, that's how everybody got to the top. They kept going and going and going. Most people give up when it gets harder, when it gets tough, or when you have that tough chest and that challenge and you fail and you don't want to try again. But everybody that's made it in life has gone through all that stuff, and the way they got to the top was they kept going and going and going. So it's a pretty simple one today on a Monday, but it could be a long week for you. You might be running into some tough stuff even early today or even tomorrow, and you just keep going and going and going, and you're going to break through that wall, break through that barrier, and find your success. So thanks for watching The Dirty Kitchen today. Hope you guys got in on our contest on Friday. We'll be doing another one shortly, so keep tuned for that, and we'll check in on the next AG quote of the day. Thanks for watching.